South Africa's land reform controversy, the root of security and conflict issues. South Africa's land reform policies have ignited both domestic tensions and international debate, with security concerns escalating amid accusations of land confiscation. The issue took center stage when former U.S. President Donald Trump announced plans to halt U.S. funding to South Africa, citing alleged land grabs and mistreatment of certain groups. In response, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa defended the constitutional framework of land reform, arguing that the policies are designed to correct historical injustices rather than violate property rights. However, the land issue has sparked deep divisions within South Africa, raising security concerns, protests, and economic uncertainties. The fundamental question remains: why is land reform such a critical and controversial issue, and how does it contribute to security conflicts in South Africa? The root of the land reform debate. The land issue in South Africa is deeply rooted in history, dating back to the colonial and apartheid eras, where land was systematically taken from black South Africans and redistributed to white settlers. By the time apartheid ended in 1994, an estimated 87% of the country's land was owned by white South Africans, who made up less than 10% of the population. To address this historical inequality, South Africa introduced land reform policies aimed at redistributing land to the black majority. However, progress has been slow, with less than 10% of farmland transferred over nearly 3 decades. As a result, frustration and resentment have grown, particularly among marginalized communities who still struggle with poverty and unemployment. In response, the South African government proposed a policy of expropriation without compensation, EWC, allowing the state to seize land from white landowners without paying market value. This move sparked fear among farmers, investors, and opposition groups, who argue that it could destabilize the economy, deter investment, and ignite further security threats. For example, countries like Zimbabwe implemented similar land seizures in the early 2000s, leading to an economic collapse, food shortages, and mass unemployment. Critics warn that if South Africa follows the same path, it could lead to violent land disputes, decreased agricultural productivity, and economic instability. Security concerns and rising conflicts. The land reform debate has fueled tensions between different groups, resulting in violent land invasions, attacks on farmers, and clashes between police and protesters. In recent years, there has been an increase in farm attacks, where landowners, both white and black, have been targeted in robberies, murders, and politically motivated violence. According to AfriForum, a South African advocacy group, there were over 1,000 farm attacks and 59 murders in 2023 alone. While some believe these attacks are random criminal activities, others argue they are politically motivated, with radical groups calling for the forced seizure of land. Additionally, urban land occupations have surged as poor South Africans take matters into their own hands by seizing unused land to build informal settlements. This has led to violent clashes with law enforcement, escalating concerns about security, policing, and civil unrest. Internationally, former U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to cut U.S. funding over alleged land confiscations added another layer of complexity. While Trump's claims were widely criticized as misleading, they nonetheless amplified fears among international investors, leading to currency devaluation and stock market volatility in South Africa. South African officials have assured the global community that land reform will be carried out legally and peacefully. But skepticism remains, particularly as radical political factions push for more aggressive land redistribution measures. Economic consequences and the risk of instability. Beyond security concerns, the land reform issue poses significant economic risks. Agriculture contributes about 2.5% to South Africa's GDP and employs over 850,000 workers. If land seizures are mismanaged, it could result in 1. Food insecurity. If productive farms are taken without a plan for sustainability, food production could drop, leading to higher food prices and increased hunger. 2. Investor uncertainty. Businesses are wary of investing in a country with unpredictable property rights, potentially leading to capital flight and job losses. 3. Reduced agricultural exports. South Africa is a major exporter of fruits, wine, and livestock. If land redistribution disrupts farming, export revenue could shrink, hurting economic growth. Looking at past examples, Zimbabwe's land seizures led to a 50% drop in agricultural output, pushing the country into hyperinflation and economic collapse. Economists warn that if South Africa follows a similar approach without proper safeguards, it could trigger long-term instability. However, land reform advocates argue that doing nothing is not an option. Millions of landless South Africans continue to struggle, and redistributing land more effectively could unlock economic opportunities, increase equality, and reduce long-term conflict risks. What are the possible solutions? To prevent South Africa from descending into economic and security turmoil, experts propose several alternative solutions to land reform. Fair compensation and partnerships. Instead of outright land seizures, the government could facilitate negotiated land sales, where willing sellers are compensated and supported in joint ventures with black farmers. Agricultural training and development. Redistributed land must come with training programs, loans, and resources to ensure new landowners can maintain productivity. Legal and transparent policies. Land reform must be legally structured, avoiding violent occupations and ensuring property rights are respected to maintain investor confidence. Public-private cooperation. Government, business leaders, and farmers must work together to find win-win solutions, balancing historical justice with economic sustainability. If South Africa can navigate these complex challenges carefully, land reform could be a powerful tool for economic transformation rather than a trigger for further division and instability. The road ahead. South Africa's land reform remains one of the most contentious issues in the country's post-apartheid history. While addressing historical injustices is crucial, the approach taken will determine whether South Africa moves toward unity or deeper division. The global community is watching, as mismanaged reforms could lead to economic decline, food shortages, and increased violence. But well-planned policies could create a fairer, more prosperous future. What do you think? Should South Africa push forward with land expropriation, or is there a better way to achieve fairness and security? Share your thoughts in the comments. Stay updated on breaking news by subscribing to my YouTube channel for expert analysis and following me on TikTok for quick updates.